Martin McCauley is a Russia expert at the University of London and joins us live now. Martin, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Now, how much is this really about trade and economy, or is it really more about Europe and Russia in a power play?
It's both, because Russia now is turning away from Europe, turning away from the West, and pointing to the East. Putin would like to put together a Eurasian Economic Union, which is Russia, Ukraine, Belarus and Kazakhstan. That would be very powerful, and Ukraine is absolutely critical in that mix. So therefore, if you like, Putin, who in his speech on the 12th of this month talked about conservative values, traditional values, Russian values, the values of the Russian Orthodox Church and so on, emphasizing those and rejecting the values of the West. So therefore he is putting, from a point of view, of the Russian point of view, he's saying to the Ukrainians, you should be with us, you're our brothers.
But Martin, of course, that may be, and it may benefit Russia and Moscow, but of course Kiev is stuck in the middle of this. In your opinion, though, is Kiev better off going with Moscow, or have they missed the boat with Europe?
Well, if you look at the conditions, we have to wait for the conditions of this $15 billion loan, which apparently is to buy Ukrainian bonds. Almost certainly Russia will impose more or less the same conditions as the IMF and the European Union. In other words, balance your budget, reduce subsidies, restructure your labour market, restructure your economy and so on. In order to do that, the Ukrainians will have to engage in painful changes. If you look at Belarus, Russia extended a loan to Belarus recently, and they imposed the same conditions, almost the same conditions as the IMF would have imposed. So therefore, Ukraine, if you like, is being forced. Russia will force Ukraine to restructure. You'll have to make changes and so on, to modernize and so on. So therefore, if it does that, then it's okay, because the IMF and the European Union would have insisted on the same changes. But if Ukraine doesn't do that, they'll be back next year asking for another $15 billion, and Russia doesn't want to throw money away. So therefore, Russia is investing this in the short term. We don't know if they'll get $15 billion straight away. Ukraine wanted $17 billion, but they've been offered $15 billion. Will that be in tranche a bit now, and then if you introduce reforms, then you will get more money and so on. If you look at trade between Ukraine and Russia and the European Union, it's more or less split. Therefore, from the Ukrainian point of view, if they carry out the reforms that Russia wants, they're going along the right path.
Right, Martin, thank you very much for speaking with us. Martin McCauley there, Russia expert, speaking to us, and he is from the University of London.